lot of rounds that they could fire. It wouldn't be a fully fledged firearm like a regular semi-automatic weapon. It'd probably be very limited in what it could do. And but that could have been somebody who was right there. Although what we see is that there was somebody. Everybody turned off, to President Trump's right, and they were all looking out that direction. And so I'm waiting to find out where this individual, where they actually, engaged him and basically killed him, the shooter. I want to find that out because it looks like the round did come from President Trump's right hand side. He was turned to the right, and he got winged in the ear. He got grazing fire in the ear, and he has an injury there. And it could be that somebody was aiming for his head, and with something like that, he may have tilted his head. He could have done a lot of things and that basically was very fortuitous in terms of he moved in such a way that it wasn't a more catastrophic injury. But we don't know. We don't know all the circumstances. What we do know is that obviously he's okay, with the exception, of course, he got, he has a small injury in his ear where the round hit. But we don't have a lot of other stuff. But they're going to be looking very closely. A lot of times, as we say in the terrorism world, before they're acting out in the real world, they're usually active as you can imagine in the virtual world, and they're communicating through social media and various other platforms with like-minded individuals that may have the same sort of violent extremist beliefs that they have, assuming that this is a violent extremist thing, which it could be simply some other motivation. It could be mental illness. It could be a lot of different things. But they're going to be looking at that to find out, is there more than just this one incident? Is there possibly a broader conspiracy? Could there be others out there who are planning to do something connected to this? And that's what they're going to be trying to figure out very quickly.
All right, Hal, we're going to keep the conversation going with you. Austin Westfall, my colleague here, going to be preparing to continue on this coverage. Austin, thank you so much for joining us as we continue with this developing story and everything that you've been able to provide to this context. We're going to see you up here in just a little bit. For everyone else that's going to stick with us here, though, Hal, I want to continue on with kind of the next steps. I did have a question when it comes to this rally and everything that happened there. I did see that almost immediately after they escorted the president, the former president, out of there, everybody kind of dispersed and all of the attendees left. Is that protocol? Wouldn't it be almost beneficial to investigators to kind of keep witnesses there on the scene, or how do they go about processing that and making sure that no suspect were to get away? Of course, we do know now that the shooter is dead. One person was killed. But again, how does that entire process work?
Well, normally what they want to do is, first off, they don't necessarily want to keep them in place. They don't necessarily want to keep them, in the stands. I mean, that's an active crime scene. They have to investigate that. So they're going to want to move people to another area where they can interview them. They can do anything else. They can look at any potential forensic evidence that they may have on them. And so they're going to be doing a lot of that. They will probably move them out, and I would hope in an orderly manner. That's been an issue with crowd control, and that's one of the things I do is I work on what's called crowd management, train crowd managers for incidents like this on how we move people from point A to point B to where we can control the situation and do all these other things that have to be done. And hopefully that's the case. Now there have been events in the past where there was a shooter, and sometimes the crowd disperses, and it happens so quickly that there isn't a lot of control on where they go, and then it's very difficult because they have to go back and figure out who was there, and it can make for a very lengthy investigative process, and there can be gaps in the investigation because they're trying to figure out who was there and who wasn't there. So they're going to be doing that. The other thing they're going to be doing is they're also going to be looking at all the video from people's cell phones, from media, from everything else, and they're going to be trying to identify everybody who was at this rally. They want who they are, why they were there. They're going to want all the information they possibly can. They're going to interview each and every one of them. And they're also going to be keeping in mind that there could have been, depending on what they find out, they're going to be looking initially to find out if there are any other potential co-conspirators, if you will. Somebody that could have been in the crowd that was planning on either that was doing something to assist the shooter, or maybe was there in some sort of assistant sort of role. Maybe they were a backup shooter or something. There could be a lot of different scenarios that they have to rule out very quickly. Secret Service is extremely good at this. They know the mind of a would-be assassin or assassins probably better than anybody else in the world. That's what they do. They fully understand the mindset, whether it's based on violent extremist beliefs, whether it's based on some sort of mental illness, if you will, a variety of other motivations that they might have. And they have this pretty much figured out as far as what to look for. And so they're going to be doing all of these things, but they're also going to be collecting a lot of evidence. And that's one of the reasons they want to move people in an orderly manner. They want to kind of get them out of there, but they also want to start collecting evidence from them as well. And of course, it's an active crime scene. I mean, not only has a former president been injured, but there's actually been a homicide that took place. So they're investigating that.
All right, Hal, we are continuing to show the moments when all of that happened earlier today in Butler, Pennsylvania. Stick with us here. I do want to pull up this photo that we have from Donald
Peace,
Trump's son,
peace to the
Donald Trump
room, peace
Jr.
to the chat.
Aftermath of that, you can see blood on the president's
Empress,
face and
Peace,
just above
peace.
his right ear. Let's get to the latest from the Associated Press.
peace to the room, peace to the chat. Hey, first and foremost, my brother who's watching, today is his birthright, and we want to shout him out. Happy birthright to our brother David Spencer. We know him as Baldy G, and this is real. This is not, it's not fake. I mean, if somebody lost their life, it can't be staged. With that, I say peace.
Gold digger.
A lot of people are talking about it now, and a lot of people saying it's staged. But if somebody lost their life, I don't think that they'd do a stage act like that. Now we know in history, they don't
No,
lie
see,
to
shout
us, they
out
don't
to
play games on us. But
Ninja.
that's rough. How you?
To dissect this situation is
The
how
research
Kevin,
ninja
national security
called
expert,
me.
also an expert in
She was watching it
counterterrorism, and has
and
worked
she called
closely
me
with
and
the
was
Secret
like,
Service. How
man, they just
everyone
shot
thought
Trump.
as
I
we
was like,
begin to learn
what?
all of these developments
She
again,
said
whether
they
he
just
was
shot
killed,
Trump.
suspected shooter did
He
Empress,
said, what you
until you
doing on
said
Sunday?
it, look, I was looking for it on the internet when you said it to me. I did not see anything.
No, nope.
But as soon as you said you was going live with it, everybody saw it, and I ain't gonna say no names. Everybody's live with it, so to let you know this can't be a joke. And once it dropped, it now everybody's sharing it.
Obviously, from an audio feed, we can't
Yeah, because she
zero
was
direct
actually
where
watching the
we're coming
rally.
from. We don't have the
And
ability to
soon
do
as it
that. And
happened,
what
she
we
called
hear,
me
it
and
could have been
told me
from
that they just
it
shot
could have
Trump.
been
So I
a
went on the internet and I really couldn't find anything at all either.
if you will,
Um,
of other things are out there.
but
Very
yeah, this
tactical
is
and
this is really
trying to
going
get a lot
on.
of people out there.
You know,
All of this
this
stuff
really
that
happened.
All my
Now, if
content,
it's staged or not,
all my
I can't say
content
if it's
creators, now's the time because I'm saying everybody with like 10K and greater on most of their platforms on YouTube. So this is something you can eat off of. I mean, look, they running and ducking. That ain't stage. How you? Y'all know how it is if y'all at the club and somebody get to popping that little pop pop. I don't care if it's a 22. We all ducking.
rifle. They said they took out the shooter. They killed the shooter, and that would indicate that the shooter was probably in fairly close proximity, unless they just got really lucky. But it would probably be in closer proximity. That again is a supposition. We don't have any details. We don't know that for sure. But if that's the case, it could have been a smaller weapon, and may have been something like an improvised weapon, sort of what was used, maybe something that was designed specifically to evade all the security precautions in a rally like this. And if that's the case, It may be a smaller caliber weapon, could be a 22, 25, could be a 380, a smaller type weapon uh, in terms of the type of ballistics involved, in terms of the
It
rounds
don't
that
matter
are
what it is. If it's spitting out bullets, we ducking and we getting up out of there.
killed. Were they behind the? Were they behind? Former President Trump, or in around former President Trump? Was that how they were hit? Could it have been somebody that was
Peace and love to our also brother Grant,
that got in front of the shooter, or
our brother chairman, excuse me, and the Grand Sheik I just spoke with. Islam.
information on that right now, and so we're going to find out more about that situation as it develops. But there's going to be a lot of evidence gathering. There's going to be a lot of investigation with physical forensics on scene, looking at everybody's feeds, whatever they were streaming out there, but also looking at anything online with the shooter themselves to figure out who was this person connected with, who are they talking to, is there a broader conspiracy? Do they need to change the threat condition across the board? These are all things the Secret Service is doing in conjunction with other law enforcement agencies.
Hal, I do want to bring up this photo that we just got into our newsroom, courtesy of our partners over at Fox 4. Very jarring images that we see there. The moments, it seems, when former President Trump ducked down behind the podium, you see the blood trickling down his face. It must have
The
been
blood. We got to remember, it's a war. It's always a war, y'all. Secret wars, silent wars.
Tell our viewers a little bit about the Secret Service detail that does follow the former president. You had mentioned earlier in our conversation, he is not a current sitting president, but still, he does have heavy security around him at all times. Can you tell our viewers how that works?
Well, he has a security detail. It's not as robust as the sitting president. The sitting president has other things that they have to be concerned with. For example, they are the commander in chief, so they have to maintain communications. They have the infamous launch codes, if you will, for nuclear weapons. There's a lot of things that surround the sitting president that a candidate for president wouldn't have. What they have is a security detail that is really there to protect the protect E, if you will, which is the candidate. In this case, the candidate's former President Trump. So there is a fairly robust capability there. There will be some medical expertise on hand, whether they have a paramedic. I don't know whether they have I would imagine with an event like this, they would probably have something along the lines of an ambulance or something nearby, if for nothing else, just to deal with the heat issues in crowds like this in case somebody gets ill. But with that, the detail itself will have some sort of emergency capability, emergency medical capability, and of course they're fully prepared. They know that what they do, that they're protectee. The reason they're there is because somebody may try to shoot them or try to blow them up, and therefore, or something else, and therefore.
Al, I'm sorry, excuse me. I do have to cut you off for a moment here because here on your screen we do have some more.
It's real out here, man. They getting gutter with it.
A shooting at Trump rally is being investigated as attempted assassination of ex-president. Those
The brother chairman said Trump got low. He better get low. Oh, they trained.
What do we make of this?
Well, what I make of this is what I kind of expected. I mean, if somebody was killed, in whatever happened, if there was a bystander that was killed, and of course, the former president was wounded, even though it's not a serious or life-threatening wound, if you will, you have to assume, you have to look at this and say, look, that was a bona fide attempted assassination. That's that's somebody was trying to kill former President Trump, and it's fortunate that it did not happen, that he was grazed, and Secret Service was able to get him out there, get him to safety, and whatever did happen, whatever wounds he has, they're dealing with those, but with that, I would fully expect that's the way they're gonna handle this. And in fact, I would expect they're gonna treat it as an attempted assassination, unless there's some compelling evidence that it wasn't an attempted assassination, because that would be kind of a immediate default of what you have to go into, as what are you looking at? And I can't imagine any other conclusion that they would have at this point based on everything we've seen.
Whew, them boys came in looking like Men in Black.
Evidence would have to be in place for investigators to come to that conclusion. But I guess what you were trying to say here is that it is an attempted assassination unless proven otherwise.
Well, based on just what they have right there, you have the protectee.
Yeah, they Trump said, hold on. I need to get my Christian Louis Vuittons. I need my red bottoms. I can't leave my shoes. He's like, I can't leave my Gucci slides. Hold on.
And so that obviously, if somebody was killed, then whatever that the would-be
Trump had to get his shoes. It's like, you shot. He was like, look, listen. I'm gonna need my shoes.
I don't even understand this demonstration.
He said, I need my shoes. Hold on.
All them Europeans and ain't nobody ran.
Man, you know that's not us. Man, soon as one of us start running, everybody is running, and then when we get far away, everybody gonna stop and be like, what happened? What was he running for? We are trained to go. On go. You know that was not us in that crowd. That was not us in that crowd.
But I mean, no, there wasn't no panic, no. Because when you're talking about the pale skinned Europeans and nitty gritty circumstances, I mean, no panic, no hysteria, no screaming from the top of their lungs, no Jesus comes. I'm talking about them people was just chilling.
Mm-hmm. All right, so looking here again at that very powerful and compelling image that we
they was ducking, but they wasn't low. Like, if
no, they were not chilling, y'all. Stop it. They were not chilling.
Compared to us, they was chilling.
They wasn't chilling. You heard?
Yeah, that's all they was doing. They was not. I didn't see that.
But look, like you said. But look, listen, like you said, with us, we run.
Right.
With them, they want to witness that they shot the president. With us, we'll hear about it later. It's a difference. And most of them are retired workers and probably been in the military, et cetera, that's on that stage with them. You got to remember that as well. You know what I'm saying? But they want to stay there to hear and write a book about it. We'll hear about it and talk about it later.
I was there. I heard it. I seen it, and we ran.
At first, I wanted to say it was staged, but for somebody to lose their life, somebody died.
Well,
yeah, the shooter died.
Exactly. So this ain't staged.
And look, it's in all.
You gotta get rid of the evidence.
You gotta look at the fine print here. In the corporate caps, a shooter is dead. Rally attendee killed at Trump event. I mean, goodness gracious.
Yeah, that was the witness that saw what happened. You gotta go too. You a casualty. So when I really think about it, so if y'all don't know, a couple days ago, Kamala had an AKA event, and in that AKA event was bigger than all of Trump and Biden rallies. And the AKAs was screaming 4 more years, 4 more years, 4 more years. Y'all already know when you get a sister behind you, and you get, because if the AKAs
okay, can you explain to the people what they probably like? What in the heck is she talking about?
Everybody know what AKAs.
Okay, Alpha Kappa Alpha. Okay, all right.
So if you get the AKAs backing, you're gonna get all of the sororities and the fraternities. So basically, you have the Divine Nine backing you.
Facts,
You got the
facts,
Divine
facts.
Nine backing you. You got the church, the so-called Black church
True, true.
backing
That's
you,
right. That's right.
right? You got
Politicians.
I remember also they just had the BET Awards, and at the BET Awards they was talking about was the Agenda 2025, right?
Uh-oh.
And you had them talking against it. You know, Agenda 2025 is something that Trump had spoke at one of the Agenda 2025 events. Now, if you got all of these, see, we don't realize is we've always dominated the polls. We've always dominated the polls. This is the reason why every so many years they rearrange the districts so that they can get whoever they want to get in within those districts. Now, because we dominate the polls, they see, hold on, BT wards, all of us so-called are backing them. The Divine Nine and the Black Church, the entertainment. So you got all of these industries, because these are industries. These aren't just, organizations or associations. These are industries. You got all of these industries. You got all of these people that's going to go out and vote, or they're going to send in their absentee ballot, right? And they're going to vote for Biden. But now if you do something like this, it's now going to sway the minds of these people that's going to go out and vote. Now, me, I don't have a dog in the fight because I'm not voting. But for those who really believe in this system, that still go out and they're going to go out and vote in November, they're all going to remember this. Trump is never going to let this down. He's going to talk about how his life was put in danger for the United States, and all he wants to do is make America great again. Now he's going to get a lot of, because it's going to pull on the heartstrings of the so-called Black woman. Oh, they tried to kill him. Maybe he is the right one for us to vote for. It's going to sway the votes. It's going to sway the votes. So yeah, he made this. He definitely made this, because I'm gonna tell you. You go back and you look at my picture that I put up. My picture that I put up was the original picture that I got off of. I think it was either ABC or Fox News, one of those websites, like 18 minutes after it happened. Because when she called me, I was still doing something. So I said, let me jump on here real quick. Let me grab a photo of the incident. And I couldn't really find anything. I couldn't really find anything on the incident. Now, ABC, NBC, and Fox News and all that, all of them were broadcasting it, but you couldn't really find any pictures of it. Now, all the pictures that they keep showing is him with blood on his ear and his face. Before, there was no blood on that picture. So they're already painting the picture, that he got shot and he's bleeding. That's why I say it's all staged. But you gotta let these people have their they gotta have their imagination, and they're gonna paint it for them, because the more that you're invested into this, the more you're sucked into this. But yeah, that, like the brother chairman said, it sounds like popcorn. And that's what it sounds like. It sounds like popcorn. When it's us, when we hear gunshots, look, we can hear fireworks and we gone. Let alone, some gunshots, and we just still there acting like we fake ducking. No, we're not doing none of that. Go ahead, brother Jose.
Man, brother, Brother Richard sent me on here. Yeah, this is a portion. I'm just watching this. You know, I don't even watch the news because I know they be trying to capture the minds of the people. And so I just be hearing about these demonstrations through the grapevine. So I'm just paying attention, seeing what's going on, sizing up the circumstance. But yeah, I urge the people, don't get caught up in this. Yeah, don't. It's in all capital letters. Don't get caught up in it.
But please do pay attention
Definitely pay attention, but don't
because
get caught up.
to every lie there's truth. And remember Noble Drew Ali and probably all the old ones back then, right? Used to say, keep watching that dang thing, and that thing gonna tell you the truth, but it's gonna tell you a lie too. So you gotta know how to think because this is what they're feeding to the society. And now the society is gonna move off of what they're feeding the society. Tomorrow there'll be songs about Trump, whether it's
Yep.
talking about him being shot at, whether them saying it's staged, but all our people will be thinking and programming according to the programming that they're sending out from this message.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't get anything out of it, understand that you always got to be in control of your own propaganda, and they definitely in control of their own propaganda. This right here is next level with it.
It's business is business. This is business. And it's a message. So those like when we sit back and let those who analyze it break it down, it's gonna be so many different messages come from this little act, whether it was stage or whatever happened today. It's a message. And I truly believe, most of us are thinking, well, he's just trying to get into office. But it's more going on than him getting into office. We can't fall asleep. It's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot going on. I was just checking the other news to see what's going on. I was checking to see if there was any, secret meetings going on, emergency meetings called, and secret legislation being passed. And you gotta always watch whenever something like this happens. You gotta always watch the news, and then I started looking to see what's going on with the money. Right, because you gotta follow the money. Yeah, it's a lot going on, and they used things like this. Things like this are. You gotta understand that he's been training for this event for years now. He's been training for this event for years. So now his security is going to be beefed up. His security going to be beefed up. But yeah, like you said, this is definitely truth and falsehood, strangely mixed. You got to watch what else is going on in the world.
And I don't want to mention names, but there's others. When you listen to the channels before this happened, has said that Trump might end up getting shot. Okay, melanated brothers who don't mind sharing the truth. So
Yeah,
it's something going on.
They were saying that because he's not going to prison for June 6th, right? On January 6th. He's not going to prison for that. Try to tell everybody that. First of all, you gotta have. He has Secret Service detail. Secret Service is not going to be in the feds with him, y'all. Y'all just gotta keep. Y'all gotta get out of la la land because a lot of us be way too invested
And
into
Empress, if I can add something I'd like to add real quick. If I can add, we got to remember Trump represents the well, he tried to represent the old republic, or he's acting out us, okay? So, uh, there was a time our people didn't mind giving up blood. You see what I'm saying? Dying for our land. So to a degree, I see that he's trying to promote that type of energy out here as well. You know, it's gonna get deadly, or it's deadly already.
Yeah, I mean, but it's definitely it's like that already. It's been like that already. It's just that the news. You got to remember, the news is a program. So the program, like the brother was saying, he don't watch it. Me either. I don't watch it. But the news is a program, and it programs whatever it wants you to hear and see. You're not gonna see anything outside of the program. Period.
We have another angle that we're watching for, but we are anticipating hearing from the president very shortly on this matter.
Hey, I'm listening to some of the people now on TikTok. They said Trump has earned his hood card. Okay.
Definitely. What people don't realize is Trump been had a SAG card, so he's an actor, right? But at the same time, Trump been earned his hood card. Look and see how many songs with Trump in it. Like, Trump was everybody homie back in the day. He did not become an enemy to everyone until he ran for president. Prior to that, he was everybody big homie. So I don't know why they switched up on him, because you never supposed to bite the hand that feeds you. That's just the way we was, we grew up. That's how we was taught. But a lot of it has to do with listening to the older generations and allowing the older generations to sway and to move, the bodies where they want them in place. But that's definitely like this right here. And when I saw that Kamala Harris event the other day, and I was like,
desperate and stupid desperate.
Power. Yeah,
hey, we call it stupid desperate.
Yeah, so they don't understand the power of us. Like our women have always moved everything, and when we get behind you, you good as gold. But now this right here was like that last ditch effort. Like, man, we got to go all the way out to get, because we need that vote. That's the vote that we need in order to solidify this thing. And yeah, Trump is the big homie. He got it today. He earned that.
He got it today. Hey, look, on TikTok, they taking that same one you just shared, where he was like, he had his fist up or something. They said, man, look at this brother. He got his hood card today with that 2225. And he was trying to represent the fist. So they said, man, Trump out here clowning, y'all. This is what TikTok is saying now. He having fun, staged.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. They don't understand that the fist actually is one of the logos for an international union.
Yeah.
But our people, we think that we created it, but no, that was that's an international union. And when he put that fist up, he let his union brothers and sisters know that all is well. He got it now.
And we wait for President Biden to address the nation on this, as well as he faces
signs and symbols for the conscious mind. You better believe it. And it's all about the blood.
But the idea that there's political violence.
So they said when we watch that guy Biden can't speak no longer than 3 to 5 minutes tops. and stay on top of it.
I'll let you know that as well. So far, it appears he's doing well. Number one.
Let me turn this up.
Number two, that they're thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to him tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do, okay?
Get to speak to Trump.
I don't know enough to, I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried about safety? Was the security failing, Mr. President?
Okay, so we missed the very beginning of those remarks. I want to play those back. Here's Biden speaking just moments ago from the top.
Thanks for coming, folks. I've been thoroughly briefed by all the agencies in the federal government as to the situation, based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to him shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And so I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies that have engaged in making sure that people and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I'm able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. So far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that there's thoroughly investigated.
They taking us back to Abraham Lincoln, y'all. They acting out Abraham Lincoln.
You already know it is.
To speak with the federal agencies that are being put
Watch out the land. Watch out for the land. That's why I keep trying to tell everybody. You know, this day is here. I've been trying to tell the Moors this, for years now. You got to be able to plant your Moorish flag in your land. You got to go and get your family's land back.
That's wrong.
Playing games with these people. These people are here to take over.
Swap 6X, who they tried to shoot. They tried to, we're going to say supposedly they tried to shoot Trump today, but it was an act. It was a great skit. Left one dead, though. Can't laugh at that. If that person is really dead according to what? We're going to give you a new name and new identity. Play this role. I mean, I don't know.
No, we don't fully know, but we can always go off of, just words, acts, and deeds. That's all you can measure anyone up by.
That's right. Truth or falsehood. That's right.
Eventually, we know the former president is still
still
recovering. We're hearing he's in good spirits. But
tried to shoot Trump. He got grace,
political rival,
and he letting the people know. I put my life on the line. When he say, and he's gonna say it with his chest out. I put my life on the line for this.
Questions about what happened there.
Say he was standing on business.
Extensive experience with.
They try to take him out.
Law enforcement. How you yourself have worked in trainings with Secret Service officials. I want to read the statement in from.
So now we know 50 Cent and all them rocking with him, right? I bet you, will they rap about him now? What they gonna do? What they got to say?
remain
They
here.
was
The
already
Secret
rapping
Service
about
has
him back in the
implemented
day,
different
how he was
measures,
their
and the
homeboy.
former president
Right.
You know,
is
back now.
Secret Service investigation, and further information will be released when available. We also know the FBI and the ATF
That's
are
right, His Majesty.
cooperating and
He
assisting with
magnificent
this law
ill. He's
enforcement
definitely gonna
investigation.
run his mouth
But we
about
also know,
this.
according to
He's not
sources,
gonna never
this is
let
being
nobody
now
ever
described as an
forget
attempted
that
assassination
they tried to
attempt.
take his
We just
life,
got that news in
you
from
know,
Jackie Hardwick
on
there that
July
the
13th,
suspect, the shooter in this, who is now dead,
2024. They tried to take
was
my
taken
life, but
out
I'm
by
still here.
members of a Secret
You know, they
Service task force there on the ground in Butler, PA here. Hal, what do you make of those developments? Because the Secret Service's role in all of
he
this
gonna let him know he
and their
really about this
response, very
life.
quick, we watched it there on the stage. They huddled
He gonna be
around the
letting
former
everybody know
president.
he got
Hal, got his
ops.
Hey, now I'm on TikTok and they saying it's got something to do with reparations. Now they're trying to say it was a brother murdered. I don't know. This is what TikTok is saying now as you building. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, tell TikTok nobody is getting reparations. Tell them that slavery was and still is a business, and those slave owners had receipts of purchasing slaves. That's called a fair trade.
The audio is tough to pick up.
But yeah, slavery was a business, and it was a legal business. You're not getting reparations for no legal business. So try something else. Get do a class action lawsuit against the Department of Education. And, do some lawsuit against a couple more banks for redlining and so on and so forth. But y'all got to stop this whole reparation stuff. It's folly.
Yeah, was he? I guess when he was speaking against reparations, and I guess that's when they shot at him when he was saying whatever he was saying about disagreeing with the reparations is what they're saying on TikTok right now. So you got a lot of FBAs in there. Yeah, you got a lot of FBAs in there going crazy. They're gonna give us what they owe us. They saying everything. See, that's what I'm saying. This is all programming, though. Programming.
An attempted assassination and
illusions.
It's fortunate that the former president was slightly wounded, but wasn't seriously hurt.
That's crazy.
So I think they did everything that I would expect.
Yeah, you're right, brother. A. Griffin Neal. If he came out with a video, look, they do actually have a video on Trump. It's about Lil Baby or somebody. I think it's Lil Baby or something with Trump or something like that. But it's AI though. I think it's AI. And they got him rapping.
According to the Associated Press, it took 2 minutes from the moment of the first shot for Trump to be placed in a waiting SUV. As Trump was talking, a popping sound was heard. You're watching the video now. The former president put his right hand up to his right ear as people in the stands behind him appeared to be shocked there. Also, someone could be heard saying near the microphone at Trump's lectern, "Get down, get down, get down, get down," as agents tackled the former president. They piled atop him to shield him with their bodies, as is their training protocol, as other agents took up positions on stage to search for the threat. Hal, we're asking ourselves where the shooter was in this. Is it safe to say, can we make the determination that the shooter themselves, they were not in the large crowd itself? They weren't mixed in with the rally goers there. We know one of these rally attendees was also killed during this shooting here. And we're going to wait on more of the reporting to come in. But you're alluding to the fact that possibly this shooter was not in the crowd at all.
It's possible. A couple things jump out. Number one, taken out with a counter sniper. All right. If I'm a counter sniper, if the individual was in the crowd, that's a more difficult shot, as you can well imagine, because you have somebody, and certainly with the weapons that they're employing, if they were to do that, they would stand the chance of collateral damage. So if it's what they had to do to eliminate the threat, then they probably have to do it. But that's a more difficult shot. But one thing that jumps out when you look at this is
Empress. So
yes.
on TikTok, they have a poll going right now. You got 80% believing that it's real. You got 20% believing that it is staged.
You see? You see how people this is real crazy. This is absolutely insanity.
Peace and love, niece, Sharice, the realest.
Peace, niece. You said real fake, right? Real fake. This is crazy. How many people actually believe what it said on TikTok? How many people
You
said
have
it's real?
80% believing that it's real, 20% believe that it's staged.
Man, that just goes to show you that the 85% is real science. It just goes to show you that it's real science. The 85 is like it's still to this day. How you still get 85% on what's real and what's fake?
They said Trump will get Asians votes, Trump will get the votes of the so-called blacks, and he will get the votes of the gays. He's oppressed like all of them. Y'all see this?
Former President Trump had his head turned.
Wow, that's different. That's real different. Who votes he getting now? It sounds like they was
You actually have people on TikTok right now saying Trump will get a black vote. Okay, people are changing their mind and riding with this man already. All right, you got to remember, a lot of people start liking Trump doing PPPs. He done bought these people.
Yeah, all you gotta do is in our community, it's sad to say, all you gotta do is either get shot, somebody close to you get murdered,
Yep.
get in a fight.
What's going on with Don Jr. though? Empress is what I was thinking about that too. He had some stuff going on too, didn't he?
Nah, it was you talking about Hunter Biden.
Oh, okay. I thought Don Jr. had something going on. All this got to be. We got to look at everything now.
Yeah, that's
Also, remember what's next week? Convention for them.
Yeah.
So again, we got to think about all the strategies that's going on.
That's the problem that they have with airlines all the time.
What's crazy is
do not grab your luggage, do not grab your laptop, do not do this.
Where is the Proud Boys? Where's the
stuff like that? And the thing is,
this is not down south.
That's who did to Boston. Remember, they wouldn't take over DC, the white so-called White House.
Man, they was crawling.
Don't fall asleep. Remember, they staged just before they took over.
Reading a new statement from the FBI, they say that FBI personnel are on the scene in Butler, Pennsylvania, and the FBI will continue to work jointly with the U.S. Secret Service as the investigation moves forward. I don't think we've reported this just yet. We're hearing from New York City Mayor Eric Adams and his
What happened to all of them? See, this I know this ain't down south, because down south they would have had the Proud Boys out there. They would have had
They're saying look up Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds. They say he's hilarious, but he's a problem. Whoever that is. I'm on TikTok with you still too.
Assassination attempt as well here, and so. Hal, I guess
it's
the
an
next question
assassination
goes to,
attempt.
this must be on the
Yo,
minds of so many. I'm
that's
Austin's wondering who
crazy
was
work.
this person, and we're going to get a profile, I would imagine, very soon.
Oh,
we don't
wow.
know anything about this
Assassination
suspect.
attempt.
We don't know the age. We don't know
Okay,
the gender. We
Trump.
don't know anything about this suspect here, and so hopefully we'll get
Trump
some of
gonna
those
say they tried to
details
take me out,
in the
but
next
I'm a
couple
G
of
with it.
hours. But when you want to talk
Oh,
about
okay. So Byron Donalds is a brother. I guess if Trump don't make it, they're saying that he should be able to get in there.
ones that are not successful,
Nah,
thankfully.
that's
But
not
this
gonna
has
happen.
been a unfortunate feature of the last
Nah,
50,
that's not
60,
gonna happen.
75 years in American
Somebody in the
history here,
chat
Hal.
said
And you
Jesus
want
is
to talk about
good.
the Secret Service response and how they are trained.
I've seen a couple of those on TikTok as well.
Secret Service detail, every first lady does.
Oh,
You know, former presidents' families do
Save
as well
Trump.
here. They're trained for this, but and I don't want to be glib about this. Assassination attempts, threats to former presidents and presidents alike come in very, very regularly, do they not?
It's a constant.
We got Juice in the house.
The online world.
Peace, Juice.
The Secret Service, which does a lot of investigations that are in the online realm, as part of what they do with counterfeiting and other things tied to financial crimes. So they're extremely good at it. But they also
Here are the criminal crimes they do.
some of these extremists, some of these others that will put out threats towards protectees, whether they're former presidents or if they are candidates for office. In this case, former President Trump is both. He's a former president and he's a candidate for office, so he has a little bit more robust Secret Service detail than maybe an average candidate would have, say, in the primary season, because of who he is. And certainly he's he's going to be the Republican candidate for president, and so they would amp up his security accordingly because of that. But they train for this. They have
Now you got brothers on TikTok saying it's not our battles, that's a European battle, stay out of it. FBA though.
They go out there and talk to someone if they and they will do what's sometimes called a knock and talk, where they'll go and have a discussion with them to let them know that they're on the radar, they're watching them. They'll be doing some sort of evaluation, which will go into whatever the threat condition that they need to, or threat posture, and that's part of a threat assessment process that they have, which is very sophisticated, that they work through. So they do all of these things, and then depending on whatever potential threats are in the area, they will adjust certain things with the rally or the event itself based on whatever they perceive the threat to be. And so,
hey, whenever Philly OG look at this now, we would call this mythology. We can call this mythology, brother Philly OG. Shout out to Philly OG. Big mythology.
So this is someone who probably, obviously they got to where they got.
And this was, I could tell this was down south, because all he had was the Secret Service. He didn't have nobody else out there.
They're going to be looking closely at that as well.
I want to pull up some more reaction. We're hearing from Vice President Harris, who was also campaigning in Pennsylvania today. She was in Philadelphia. She says she's been briefed on the shooting at former President Trump's event in PA. Doug and I are relieved that he is not seriously injured.
Doug and I.
For him, his family, and all of those who have been injured and impacted by this senseless shooting.
Do you think that he told those people, hey, we're going to have a little fireworks up here, so you guys, because they didn't budge. Like, go back to those people. They didn't budge.
Like I said, we are trained. When we hear fireworks, when we hear a boom, when we hear gunshots, to start running. And then once we get far away enough, we stop and we ask, what happened? We don't
And,
wait,
you know, that's a little bit old.
find out what
That
happened, and
you
then
up to a
start
couple of
running.
months old, and if you
They didn't
wanna
run at
really see
all.
something that said, take a look at what happened.
You see them looking? Look, they looking. Ooh, which way it's coming? Where the bullet's coming from? Now I'm out of there. First bullet. Man, look, y'all. If this ain't staged, God forgive me. Because I would have been out of there. You know, man, look.
Not at
Hmm.
all.
They got those guns out there, though. Huh. If it was two, but they murdered one, right? Supposedly. Yeah, he just won all those people votes. He put on.
It's no coincidence that it happened in Pennsylvania. Remember, Pennsylvania is
Come
a
on.
heavy
Come on.
Democratic battleground. But I'm gonna tell you, I been knew Trump was the real one. Anytime you get shot and you worried about getting your shoes on, he was like, "Man, look, I need to put my
President Trump being
Christian Louis
escorted into
Vuitton
still
red
as the
bottom
beast, the
Gucci
presidential
slippers
vehicle,
on, y'all. Wait,
And look
hold
what
on,
happened to our
with his
hold
fist raised,
on.
that clip looping back there. So
I can't
we have a
leave
guest
these.
standing
You know
by.
how
We
much
have
these
Marvin
cost?
Jones.
That's what
He's
he
a
was.
former Secret Service agent. And Marvin, I just want to make sure that we're connected. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
All right. Thanks for joining us. What do you make
He
of the
said,
Secret
"OG
Service
Trump."
response? I think everyone is clamoring for more information at this time. You have experience protecting the
I'm gonna put
president
the link in the
in
chat again.
situations
Anybody want to
just
come
like
up? You can
this.
come up.
What do you make of their response?
Well, from the video on the television, the Secret Service did an excellent job of responding. It's difficult to see, but there's a gentleman right of Trump, an agent that sprung right on top of him almost instantaneously when he grabs his ear and goes down. So I think their response was very good.
So when we talk about an investigation of this magnitude, we hear that a shooter has been killed, a spectator in the crowd has been killed, Trump himself has been injured. Where does the Secret Service begin with all this?
Well, the Secret Service is responsible for investigating threats against the President of the United States. And they continue to do that routinely. The public is not aware of how many threats these leaders get, but it's a very large number. What will happen is the FBI has the statutory authority to investigate assassination attempts, and they will be the lead agency on the investigation. But the Secret Service will be there step by step with them, and they'll look into the shooter, his background, and do extreme detail to find out if he had accomplices, there was a major plot, things like that.
So when we talk about the response and what's going to be coming next, I'm curious, what is the protocol for a campaign rally of this size? We know Trump likes big crowds. We know that there were people not only in the audience behind him, but there were also a good amount of people in front of him as well. What is the challenge with securing events of this nature, Marvin?
Sure, those huge crowds, and particularly with the president, the former President Trump, who likes to be with the crowd, in the crowd, exposed to the crowd, puts a real strain on the security measures taken. if there's a venue that can be secured, of course, everyone that comes into the venue is screened for weapons. There should be, and apparently there was in this case, anti-sniper teams on rooftops surrounding the venue. According to your reports, an anti-sniper team took out the shooter. It's very difficult to control all these people. What you don't see is people coming into the venue that are screened. You don't see agents in plain clothes wandering through the crowd, keeping an eye out for suspicious persons. The closer you get to the president, the more agents there are. And those fellows working and ladies working right around the president are giving up their life to protect him. So they're very brave individuals.
What is happening in the beast, if you will, the vehicle that Trump was ushered into promptly after this happened? We saw it with our own eyes, everything that happened outside. But what takes place as soon as he's in that vehicle and the second they start driving away?
Sure. At least one of the agents will be looking the president over carefully to see if there are any other wounds besides his ear. It was only by the grace of God that this headshot just grazed his ear or his side of his head. But while they're in the beast, as you say, they'll be looking for other injuries to him. And assuming they don't find any, well, then they'll calm down a little bit and move on to a medical facility where he can be examined by doctors.
Which administrations have you worked under, sir?
I worked for Gerald Ford and Jimmy Carter.
And so can you speak a little bit about your experience with Ford specifically?
Yeah, Jerry Ford was another president that wanted to be a man of people. I remember we did a parade in Dallas, Texas, and he wanted to be in an open limousine to show that I assumed that he wasn't afraid of Dallas. But please remember that President Kennedy was assassinated there in Dallas. And that was a very tense time. We secured the rooftop, the parade route, all kinds of security measures to see to it that he was safe. And it worked out, thank God for that.
So what is the pressure with being a Secret Service agent when you're in these high pressure environments, sir?
The pressure is so thick you can cut it with a knife. You know that there are bad people out there that would love to do harm to the president, and it's your job to get it right every time. You don't get a second chance.
All right. My colleague, Andrew Kraft, joining me here. And Andrew, I know you have some questions as well.
Hi, Marvin, Andrew Kraft here. I just wanted to ask you this, and you mentioned that you worked for the Secret Service during the Ford administration. Of course, history reminds us that Gerald Ford was also the subject of an assassination attempt as well here. I wanted to ask you, we're also getting new details in, according to Jay Gibson at the Department of Justice, federal law enforcement source saying we know the shooter is dead and that an AR-style rifle was recovered at the scene. Marvin, my question to you is this the right time to ask how the Secret Service missed this? We're getting reports that the shooter was not in the crowd, was not even in the venue itself, was outside the venue. Obviously, the actions of the Secret Service are laudable. They saved the president. They whisked him away here. But to your point, the Secret Service trains for these moments each and every day here. Is there some soul searching that's going to have to go on within the organization here, or is it too early? Should we let the investigation proceed here? Should we be asking that question? How did the Secret Service let something like this happen today?
Well, that is a good question. After every event that the president is involved in, there's always a debriefing by the team that is responsible for the security. In this particular case, it's very difficult to say without additional information whether the Secret Service has let something slip through the cracks or not. It's highly unlikely that happened. They are so professional and so detailed, right down to the manhole covers and things like that. So it really is going to take time to sort out and investigate what actually happened before anyone can point fingers.
But Marvin, you're saying that there are possibilities and contingencies that something can slip through the cracks like we saw today. You're saying, and I know this, the Secret Service, they plan for things like this. They check all of the boxes. They cross their T's, they dot their I's with this, but yet something like this happened. So do we have to ask ourselves, was something missed?
Hey, Empress, I'm on TikTok again. They said, man,
I think you should.
and when you go to that cartoon, The Simpsons,
Sure. And we will do that.
they got a whole skit on this already.
One more thing in here. We're
That's
just
how we
getting
know this stuff is staged,
some
y'all.
context from Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News correspondent, saying an FBI fly team is en route to Butler, Pennsylvania, to conduct an assassination investigation.
By the way,
Secret Service officials
everybody just
tell
hanging
Fox
out, like,
News. How does an investigation of
understand that.
this sort
He's,
begin,
missionary
Marvin?
Patnell.
An assassination attempt investigation is going to be no small
It's
undertaking. Where do they start?
Well, because the shooter has been killed, and obviously they have.
What's your thoughts on this situation?
Don't let it put fear in you, brothers and sisters. Just know how to think and know truth from falsehoods.
Who his associates are, what the weapon was, that kind of thing.
And keep your eyes open.
Extremely intense.
Keep your eyes open.
All right.
Stay on point.
Do appreciate
The brother left out.
Marvin Jones. He's a former Secret Service agent. Thank you, sir. Take care.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
Okay, so what we want to do next is we'll play through what exactly we saw earlier today. We play the images on the screen, but it's better served playing this with the audio so you get the full idea of how this thing transpired. You hear the pops, you hear Trump himself and his Secret Service detail that are huddled together right behind that podium, that live microphone. So you hear a little bit of that. Let's play it.
Peace, brother Fat now. What's your thoughts on the situation?
Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Can't hear you. Your mic is open, but I can't hear you.
Islam, that's me trying to listen in, look closely to the background right there. Though, tell you, well, Brother Mosiel, though, my immediate thoughts is countermeasures, because this is a repetitive scene. And I mean, literally, my thoughts is like maybe it's just that a countermeasure, you know, against. I mean, it's a Trump card. It's the type of move. And then I was like, why would it? The media actually pushed him to have to do something like this, if that's the case, or this to happen in order for him to find full exoneration.
And man, Trump was throwing up the fist, like you said, Griffin Hill. So did they hit him from the rooftop? Where did he get hit from?
Yeah, they hit him from up top, but like I said before, Trump is a real one. He was not leaving that stage without his shoes.
Saying such as well. I'm gonna send things to my colleague Andrew Kraft, who I believe has an update. We're hearing from the president on Truth Social. Andrew.
Peace to the world class.
Moments ago, he says this: if we have it, we can put it up on the screen.
Peace to the panel. Peace to the Islam.
Thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement.
What's your thoughts on this?
On the shooting that just took
So I was
Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person
wait, wait.
at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong in that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America, all caps. Austin, we're getting confirmation now. Remember, there was some uncertainty on whether or not he was actually struck with a bullet or whether or not it was glass fragments that hit him from the teleprompter, if the bullet hit the teleprompter and then the glass fragments hit his ear. Former President Trump right now is confirming for all of us that indeed, and in fact, a bullet did hit his right ear, the upper part of his right ear. So that is quite stunning. That is a huge development here. We're hearing that from former President Trump on Truth Social. Mere minutes ago, we just put that post up. And so we heard from the campaign in the immediate aftermath of the shooting there that Trump was going to be fine, that he's in good spirits, thanking the Secret Service, thanking law enforcement. But now we know from Trump's own fingers on Truth Social, typing this out to all of us, confirming, saying that he was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of his right ear. He said he knew immediately that something was wrong and that he heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. And of course, I believe we have a photo, and you can see the blood coming down the side of his face and hit the top of his right ear is very, very bloody as well. I know we have that photo you can see there. You can also see blood on his cheek, also on his neck as well as he was whisked away. So, man, that photo right there is going to be in history books for time immemorial.
And
Austin?
just how close this bullet, as we're now finding out, how close this bullet was to making this situation something much, much different. We have joining us today, Ken Gray, always standing by for us. Thank you for coming on to help us break this down, Ken. And your initial reactions to everything we've been seeing today.
Hi, Austin. So this is shocking that this event should happen like it did. However, I'm very pleased to hear from President Trump himself with his own tweet that he is okay, that with his own social media posting that he is okay. But nonetheless, this is a shocking event. It just shows that no matter how much Secret Service and law enforcement in general attempts to protect the candidates like this, that there's always the possibility of somebody finding a gap in the security and carrying out an act to try to change the course of history.
You're a former FBI investigator. What is the FBI's role in an investigation like this? I imagine so many agencies are going to take part.
Getting the story right. Getting the story right. That's what they got to be on. They got to be on getting the story right. That's what I pray. I pray they get their story together for the world, because that's what it's about right now.
Listen, it's gonna be this picture is gonna be in the minds of everybody from time immemorial. That's crazy work. Wow.
It's gonna be this one. Like a damn mirror, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Go ahead.
yeah, so I was live when this was dropping, right? When this came, I just ended it like not too long ago. I don't know what to say in public. I don't really know what to say in public. What I do say is, I was trying to figure it out before the information came out. What I realized was whoever shot. So I seen a post on CNN. I read it, and they were saying he shot from a rooftop. And he was shot. This is bullshit. What happened was I think he really, whoever it was, whatever government agent it was that I shouldn't say stuff in public. Whoever pulled the trigger, definitely shot with a handgun, from around the whatever the bleachers was to Trump's right where he was looking. I counted 3 shots, the 3 initial shots, and then about 2 more shots, and then 1 return fire shot, and then another shot, which that last shot that was by itself, which was about 7 to 9 seconds, maybe 10 seconds after the first burst, was probably the last shot that took the life, or probably was the person whose life got took. The thing I was thinking about first when them shots rang, I was like, ain't nobody else get hit. Ain't nobody else get hurt. It's too many people in too many places for only, as they say now, one other attendee got passed away and somebody else was injured. So causes me to think that he was like on some type of equal platform, and he was shooting and he was trying to delete that guy. And I'm not going to get into who I think it was or what I think it was, but that person obviously sucks and ain't really not that good. So they even going to associate, I think they said Antifa already, or some of those incel guys, or whoever agenda they got moving forward. But it's just the information just doesn't make sense. And like the brother was just saying, man, let's see what story they put out. We're just going to take our time and process this information, because this is their version of, this is like 2001 all over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're definitely about to use the hell out of this.
And this gonna put him in that seat again. Shout out to Trump for being one to, risk it all.
They did you? So I read, this is all in live. I just did. I read that Biden is pulling all of his ads right now. Yeah. So
Yeah, because they had just said to Biden, there was some people that was saying, "Oh, you can kill him now and get away with it." Yeah, but they pulling everything right now.
So this was fortunate for President Trump that it was raised.
yeah, I was just saying on my live. I know I kind of told you probably, but that's something ain't right. It's
Well,
just
I knew that he was gonna have to do something when I saw him, because you got to see the lineup, right? So you had the BET Awards. They brought up Agenda 2025, so that made him look bad, right? Then right after that, you had the AKA. They had an event, and Kamala was there. They was screaming 4 more years, 4 more years. So you got all these different, like I said, you got all these different industries. You got Divine Nine. You got the Black Church behind you. You got the celebrities behind you. It's a wrap for this vote, this way. Because, the people that look like us ain't going to vote for you when you got all of this. One thing about our people is our people are heavily influenced. So when we see, those who are in positions, certain positions, we tend to want to follow them because their life looks great. And they're supposed to be knowledgeable because they're doing better than the majority of us, right? But yeah, this right here solidified that vote that he needed, because he needed that vote. And like I said, it's no coincidence that it's in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is the main battleground state for the Democrats all day long, because this would have never happened down south. Ain't no way. Like I said, where the Proud Boys at? Where the KKK at? Ain't none of them out there. They all on Stone Mountain somewhere. I don't know, but yeah, this would have never happened down south.
I watched this. I don't know how many times I've watched this already. I'm just not buying any of it.
No, not at all.
Not worried about what they say, but I just know what I'm watching. I know what I heard. small caliber, less than 100 yards out.
Come on now. And then at the same time, ain't nobody run. What the?
Sis, I just said the same shit. When they pan out, like if you, I don't know, this one probably don't do it. When they pan out and you see everybody just sitting there, everybody still sitting there. I'm like, yo, what the- and this is the thing. This is the thing that's weird about it. This is the thing that's weird about it. Like
all the MAGA hats.
that's what I'm
The way
saying.
they was climbing, the way they was climbing up the walls of the Capitol. And you mean to tell me ain't none of them climb up on that stage to barricade that stage? Ain't no way, cuz. Ain't no way.
This.
And ain't nobody run.
What the girls be saying? It's given. This is given.
Yes, it's definitely given.
This is given. Somebody was at a bar. They were sitting at a bar drinking something. They said, you know what we got to do to win this race, right? You know what we got to do, right? And they came up with this stupid story that they pulled from some movie. And this is the thing that causes the problems that we have.
Definitely Fox Studios right here. This is a Hollywood script.
Fucking retarded. This is insulting. This is insulting. This is what's going on right now because the information, I don't even care about the video at this point. The stuff that they're going to start saying about tomorrow and the next week is going to piss me off. It's going to be so fake. It's going to irritate the absolute heck out of me. It's going to be so fake. I know what I heard and I know what I saw.
He said, His Majesty Magnificent El said, listen again, it sounded like a point ball gun. Word. That's exactly what it sounded like. Like it sounded like a little pew pew. Not
No,
you know.
It's around 22 caliber, right? So the first 6 sounds you hear is 3 shots, 2 echoes. So if it's echoing that fast and the way it's echoing, somebody's shooting in a box. Somebody's shooting in a box. It's close. It's at ground level. So they want you to believe it's from the top, but it's not. And they want you to believe it was an amateur, but it's not. It's not an amateur and it's not down bottom. It's somebody that really know how to shoot. They hit just his ear on purpose, like he was ordered to.
Exactly.
And whoever died,
they saw it.
Yeah.
So you gotta
that
go.
last shot. The last
That was
shot.
them.
Like if you, I can pull it up if you want.
It was because it was that last shot.
It was interesting. I don't know if it was them shooting him or him shooting that, but it was him shooting that. But it was all. It didn't make any sense.
It was the Secret Service shooting back, and that last shot took the witness out. You gotta go.
So Ken, we don't know who this shooter is yet.
It's like it's the opposite. I know I'm not dumb. I want to like. It was from ground level or his level. It was somebody that was really good at shooting. Because what you're not going to find is that somebody behind him in that backstage was shot. And here's the thing listen, if he was shooting in that direction, all of those Secret Service that was in TAC form, why didn't they shoot? They had no reason not to shoot. They know how to get line of sight. They should have came back, especially the one that walked on stage. He'd have been. Now I understand if they could say, well, we don't fire in crowds. But
no, remember? Remember the lady who had ran her car into the White House a couple years ago?
I think I vaguely remember hearing that.
And they lit her car up. It lit her car up. They shoot in the crowds, so they can't use it. They cannot use that. They lit that lady car up.
This is a wild time. Sis, do you know our lives as 80s babies? You know, it started in crack era. We didn't see the crack era. We didn't see the gangster rap era. We seen Y2K. The next year, we seen 9/11. Like,
I'm gonna tell you, when the recession hit, and all of all of our uncles and aunties was crying about their pensions and everything, and it was all getting pink slips. We didn't even know what that was. We were just like, what? Pink slip. Let me get one of those.
Why-
We didn't know nothing about.
Food stamps ain't
Yo. We didn't care about none of that. We didn't care about no mortgages, no none of that, because we just now, a lot of us just either still in college, getting out of college, and you know what I'm saying? We living our best life. The recession for us, we didn't feel no recession.
Yeah, I think
we didn't have no mortgage fraud, no none of that. None of that was going on with us. So
All
you know,
messing
we
with
was
us was
just
the
those.
daggone gas. Gas was damn near $5. Some places it was
Man,
$5.
that's the only thing we felt was gas. And that's the only reason why we even knew it was a recession. Other than that, we
You just jump. Shoot, we had to deal with that. We didn't went through the internet era, the recession, Obama.
And so this shows that there was a gap.
Now, oh shoot, I skipped it. Shoot, we had to go through freaking George Bush for 8 years and war.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that crap. Now, president-elect. Has a president-elect or candidate ever been attempted assassination attempted? Is that new?
No, that's new.
Gap in security that is now being discovered by
That's
the fact
new.
that they were able to get there.
They said it.
By the way,
No, I can't remember. I think I might have heard them.
it shows that this was a
Yeah, I think our generation actually been through the most. Like I be hearing, I be hearing these Generation X people, and I be like, man, you know, Generation X, they be like, you know, we had to, you know, we had to make our own oodles and noodles. Like,
You had to make your own food. That was what was hard.
You know, they be like, we had to make our own oodles and noodles out of government cheese. And, like,
That's when you come back. You be like, y'all got to eat. Y'all ate. He was in the house by ourselves.
You know, they part Generation X. You know, that's my husband's generation. They pride themselves of like all this stuff. I just be like, man, y'all was privileged. y'all was privileged. I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all was privileged because see, y'all era was the ones that was the ones selling the crack. Our era was the ones who had to feel it.
He was in the house with the crackhead.
Yeah, man.
That was who was raising him.
Man. And stealing everything out of grandma's house at the same time. Yeah. Our era was
That's
the
the house they
era.
was selling the crack out of. If it wasn't for grandma, it wouldn't be no them. Man, this is
nope.
This is nope. It's really interesting to see. These next 30 days, if we don't go to war. If I'm in any other country, and I got, it was a guy, I seen this clip. These two brothers was talking about we lost 4 embassies in the last couple, 2 years. 4 embassies, U.S. embassies around the country, around the planet.
Yeah, they need to stop going and stealing people's stuff. First of all, like the first thing is, why are you over there stealing people's resources?
Like you don't got enough here.
Exactly.
Great, thank you.
They just got.
You always want to be. You just always want to be seen. Always be out front. You want the world to see you and know you. That's what you call a thought.
Let's listen to the president.
That's that thirst. That's what it be given. Thirsty. You always want to be seen.
We do appear to be having some playback issues there.
But that's crazy. This whole situation is crazy. Shout out to the research ninja. Sister Yaya L called me like, they just shot Trump. It's like, what?
20 million people.
She was like, "What you doing?" I was actually preparing to go live. She's like, "Well, go live because they just shot her." I'm trying to figure out how all those MAGA hats out there, and all they doing is ducking. They weren't doing none of that on January the 6th.
A white chick is gonna scream, bro. She gonna holler no matter what. They're gonna say that's when they putting the ketchup on his head.
Yup, you already know it. You already know it. They gonna say when he got down, when he got low.
That's when they cut him.
They put the ketchup on his head. Man, look. Cannot make none of this up.
This is the dumbest generation of all time, but this is crazy that this is actually happening in real life.
What's even crazier than that is my husband said they got a poll on TikTok and it's asking if you think it's real or fake. Why 80% think it's real and 20% think it's fake? I said, that's crazy. They just proved the 85%.
Mm-hmm.
The dumb, deaf, and the blind.
Oh, the car was just right there already? Wow. Okay, maybe it was. I don't know. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Maybe it was. Who knows? What is the fucking nigga in the back doing? What's your back? What's your back bulletproof? What you doing? What's going on?
But I can't believe he was like, no, I'm not leaving without my shoes. Leave my shoes on.
Them shoes right cost $5,000.
Bro, that's what I said. Trump said, I'm not leaving this stage without my red bottom Christian Louis Vuitton Gucci slides. Like, no, I'm not going nowhere.
Nigga, these is Gucci. Nigga, get my shoes on, nigga. I'm Trump. This is Gucci. Say with me, Gucci. Like, sir, we got to get you up. No, say Gucci. That's what took him so long. He says Gucci.
Yeah. I was like, no.
You know what would be crazy if he got more gators on? That'd be crazy.
Before any of these events,
psycho right there.
No,
these is more gators, nigga.
Looks at the facility and tries to figure out from the standpoint.
Do you know how much these cost?
These is expensive. You don't even say the X. You say these is expensive.
Yes, I got these straight from out of Mar-a-Lago. These Mortgages.
I watched them kill an alligator to make my shoes. His name was Bert. Suspect shooter fired multiple shots towards the stage from an elevated position outside of the road. This is a lie, bro. It's not true, bro. That would mean that somebody definitely behind him shot. So I know y'all listening. Just make sure the story makes sense so y'all don't make me mad. There should be somebody to his left that would have been behind him when he got shot, right? To the left of the stage, that should be shot, bro, from a rifle at that angle, bro. And you got to explain to the world why none of your officers did return fire from that position. That's what you got to explain at this point. None of them were aiming at that elevated position where you see the nigga get on the stage. He is pointing at eye level. He's not pointing up. So stop playing, bro. You gotta keep playing it like it makes. This is just getting as dumb as 9/11. Y'all got full control over the cameras at this point.
sometimes you're dealing with somebody who is
9/11
shelf and is coming up with things that you didn't think of.
was
And
so
sometimes you get someone
weird.
who's a little more lackadaisical.
You know, they
It's
still
like
paying
anything else.
the
You
survivors.
have what do they call
They
it?
should be for life.
Who finishes
They
last
get
in the
checks
medical school class. Doctor.
annually.
So it's very operator dependent. But I'm really shocked
When you never mind. I
that
don't want to
the
get your general
outward
first.
nature of the venue that no
That's
one
not.
has paid attention
I almost said shit. I almost said it. You tipped it.
You know, I ain't monetized,
I'm
so
not getting anywhere.
we Gucci over here.
No. I don't want to keep you from with shit I was about to say. They gonna come pick it. Be black trucks outside our house. Like, all right. Y'all got me. Come on, man. You come with us. No, I can't. But you know.
We ain't monetized over here.
Are they a national?
Over here, we can.
Someone who is from
All they can do is give us a warning.
Were they involved? Is this a lone attack?
Look, that's all they can do over here is give us a warning.
See, the
But
thing
this
I
is
said about
crazy.
the thing I said on my live is the other part about this is how embarrassing this looks to Secret Service. How angry they're gonna be in law enforcement, military, and shit like that. And their training is embarrassing. So they're
Very,
gonna definitely be
very
heightened. Definitely gonna be heightened. And whatever name that they get clearance to go after is going to get punished, bro.
But look how bad it looked for them. Look how bad the Capitol Police look, and the Secret Service was out there right with them. When all that
Yeah,
happened on January 6th, they just come on now.
they're getting
These
trashed.
people, man, they don't care. They're like, man, look, I'm here to get my check and go home.
No, you're absolutely right. Now, in the Las
Yeah,
Vegas
They probably was all on their phone when all this was going on.
about 400 yards away.
that'd be crazy. And they can track that and find out if they was on their phone what this was going on. Fired. Instant rebellion.
You have to look at the venue and say, okay, well,
Yup.
Nobody is pointing up. Nobody is pointing. All these Secret Service is like, if there's 10 levels, they like 7 at least. These are the best in the country.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know where sound coming from. Like, they don't know where a shot is coming from.
What I don't understand is, like, I didn't see more security, armed security at a concert.
For some reason, they did.
Like, why? He ain't got enough people around him. Where are all his people at?
Why would he be up on the stage by himself without that little glass thing that they got? I don't understand. They got that little glass thing that they can put around. He's a former president. It's not like he's just anybody.
Your previous guest, I forget
And a billionaire. Could afford it if he wanted to. The BS, like, this was making me mad. The BS that is from some elevated position and that it was a rifle. Both of those are lies. That's not true.
And
It's
no,
not true at all.
What's crazy is,
And they
hey,
using
none of
law.
this never happened with you would think something like this would happen with Obama, right?
Right.
In the Obama years. I went to go see Obama at the Verizon Center in Baltimore, and then I went to go see him and what's the other convention center downtown across the street from the one that's M&T Bank used to have a stadium, right? There used to be
Yeah.
okay, it's not
With
M&T
the
Bank
Raymond Stadium, then you got the Baltimore Convention Center, then you got the Baltimore Arena.
Baltimore Arena is
First-
next to the baseball field, right?
No, the Convention Center.
The convention center. What is it called?
That's what it's called. Baltimore Convention Center.
Center? That's the one that's down there. It's close to like Utah, right?
Yeah. The Baltimore Arena is on Baltimore
So
Street and Howard.
what's the one that's like Howard? That's what I say. The one that's on Howard. That's the Baltimore
Yeah.
Arena.
Yeah, that's
What
the
it used to be called?
First Mariner.
There you go.
What is it? That one? Yeah, First
Yeah.
Mariner. And then it's a new name now. It wasn't a Verizon Center. They got another name now.
No. Verizon Center was over closer to
DHS and the Secret Service are working with
I think Verizon Center was closer
Like the
downtown
building.
towards
terms and commend the Secret Service for their swift action today.
closer down towards the harbor. That's what a Verizon Center used to be. I don't know if it's still there no more, but I went to go see him when his first campaign when he was running at the Verizon Center, and then like a couple weeks later he was back. He doubled back in Baltimore again, and he was down at the First Mariner. And never would you ever, never would you ever, not even. They would never let nothing like that go down.
You know, a lot going on there. The answer.
So to let something like this go down is intentional.
Part of their protocol is.
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody say, because I got to shake Obama hands twice. Every time I went, I shook his hand. Y'all had some real soft hands. This would never. This is intentional.
Absolutely. It's insulting.
I've been to rallies like this with Obama when he was running for the first time. This is intentional. Because the back participants, you don't even get to go. Everybody be going early because they thinking that they're gonna be able to be in the back so everybody can see them on TV. No, they don't even start filling that up. They fill up the front first, and then they start filling up the back.
100% yes. However, that first shot could have killed him. And that lapse needs to be investigated very, very carefully, because any shot getting off it's a failure. I mean, there's no way of looking at it. The fact that the agent
this was intentional.
Acted with instinct, with training, with extreme bravery.
You can't just get nothing like this off. The security is way too tight for any of this.
Listen, me and people like me know that whoever shot, whoever's the person that shot, I don't care what they show. I don't care what name they use. Whoever was shooting was in officer uniform. Because we know it's the only fucking reason. It was in some type of security detail uniform. That's a fact, which means we know exactly what it was, and they know exactly what it was. So this shit is pissing me off.
For him to be like, my shoes. Let me get my shoes on. Like, you not worried about your life. You see what I'm saying? Nobody is running. Ain't nobody break out and start running.
This is what's making me mad. I think I said this, but this is what's pissing me off. They are saying that the guy was to the right, which looking at the stadium, looking at this podium right here, where he's pointing, they're saying the shot came from over there, from an elevated position. So that means he was shooting at where we just seen all of those officers at, and ain't nobody shoot back, and ain't nobody aim up. And they're saying that the information came from those same law enforcement and Secret Service that was shot at.
They're supposed to drag him off that stage as quickly as possible, get him into that.
This is stupid and dumb. Look at that. Watch everybody come from the right.
If they didn't know, at some point you listen to
that is a cameraman. That first person that went behind is a fucking person with a camera.
I'm not accepting that. What if there's another shooter? One shooter is down, so at that point he's on the ground. He's being covered by bodies. Now, by the way, depending on the caliber.
Look at him.
This whole thing was sloppy. It was sloppy.
Look at him. Look at him. It came from the sky. It came from an elevated position, and nobody's looking up. Everybody's looking. You can see the position the nigga is looking at. He's looking down off the stage. He's not looking up. It was somebody with a handgun shooting upward.
Probably the best thing they could do at the time.
From behind the stage.
They have these things. They have
This is not dumb.
But then you're exactly right. They get them up.
That's why this is why they become killing people like me. Try to get me the fuck up out of here.
This is real sloppy. Yeah, I caught you live earlier,
Do these over and over again.
and
How many rallies, President?
I appreciate
that
you
was
for coming
crazy.
through.
And nothing
Yeah,
happens.
that was.
And
It was
very
a lot of
often
shit.
when
It was a lot of
nothing
shit.
happens, you attribute that to the fact, well, this will be the same thing.
Yeah,
There'll be
man,
nice
it's,
quiet
it's
events.
weird. There's a
They
lot
gonna
of
be
weird
the,
stuff
if they're
going
gonna
on.
be debating, they need to
That's the problem.
figure
They
out
think
how
every single
to
time that
stick
this is the one.
to the
This is the
topic.
one that we're gonna have a problem at. This is the one.
Oh,
we're
that
gonna
was that part you talking about that? Oh, listen,
You just have to
listen.
get your head in the game. That's
These
all.
people are just. I don't know. I don't know. I figure I'll go amongst the masses. Go
What's
amongst the.
crazy is they didn't went from like Kevin Samuels followers to
Yeah, well,
Passport Bros
you're
to
vulnerable in the
all
exposed
these
places.
other
So
different
when
names,
assess
and now
for
they
example,
trying to debate now like they on
any
Sonetta
sort of
TV.
prominent
That's
figure.
they
Maybe they
didn't
have to
did
go
too
from their
many
house to
different
the office. Maybe they're
revamps
going from
and
the office to an event. It's the transit, the points of transit that are
Yeah.
that's
you're
crazy.
most vulnerable at, and events where you really don't have
They're only trying to debate because I say debate. That's the only
residence
reason.
or office where you could really beef up security. So
I can't believe they debating now over there.
They're not.
we could come up with
They're not. Yeah, if you're saying that, you know they're not debating. They're just.
just in ballistic shields
It's
right
goofy.
there. And then you have someone
It's
assign
just
ballistic
horrible.
shield.
It was real goofy, and I don't think dude was really
Yeah.
understanding that the factors changed, not the
I've
principle.
watched the video a number of times now.
They don't know what neither one of those is. They don't understand what a fact is. If they feel good when they say it, then that make it a fact in their feelings.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I think that was
And
just
I can't take
heat
it.
of the moment. People were trying to
And then that other dude, the foreigner, I couldn't even listen to that.
you see them moving there, there's
It was a lot.
people in the way.
I don't know how you sat through that one, because every time he speak,
That kind of stuff in the heat of the moment.
Luckily, I mean, I don't know. I don't really mean to be facetious, but luckily, President Trump got shot, and I had to listen to no more.
that's crazy work.
I was about to drag the exact crap out of that kid for that dumb statement he made. Because, you know, a world event had to happen to stop me from dragging that nigga.
We don't know anything about them. And so presumably that's going to come out in due course.
Yeah, that
But there is no identification
wow,
right
they
now
debating now over
of
there.
this,
That's
the planning it
different.
took to do this. To
So you seen something with this that attributed to Antifa?
Yeah,
They
I've
said something
seen
about they
that.
found it.
At this time, anybody can get it. You feel me?
I ain't mad.
Anybody, everybody, whoever wanted.
And the planning and how long
It's gonna be an Antifa, a Moorish Antifa sovereign citizen, incel, Trump supporter. Like I don't fucking know.
Oh my goodness.
Be everything.
It's don't forget Black what is it? What is it? Black Lives Matter. Don't forget them now.
Everything. From the Ukraine. No, sorry, from Russia.
And China. As you know, they gonna partner up. It's crazy. Like I said, at this point, anybody can get it. Who want it?
Very fucking bad. God dang, bro, this is wild.
History with political assassinations and political assassination attempts, and this is the most recent one here. You know, David, this is getting philosophical, but
yeah, this is given.
Going through this right now. The guard let down on the assassination front.
Yeah, this is given Hollywood script.
These two niggas on the right look like the same person, like a clone and shit.
Man, this is given Medea.
You said Medea.
This is giving a Medea movie.
Little damn Lifetime movies. The political guy.
Oh my goodness, Medea running for president, and they grazed her. Yeah, they grazed me. Can't they hold me down?
One of them cheap foreign action movies, like the beginning of it. President, it was an assassination attempt, and it was this guy's fault, and he started drinking.
Yeah, this is definitely giving Tubi.
should be conducting to make sure that
Hilarious.
we're on our toes. Like basically, it's like when the inspectors try to sneak through the checkpoint to get onto a plane. They do that deliberately.
This is
to make
definitely
sure
give it
TSA
to me.
operators know that, hey, listen, any day one of
Did
our,
you catch
border
that
agents trying to
interview
get something
with
through, so we gotta be on our toes. That's the way the Secret Service needs to act. They really need to,
with Andre 3000 and
Listen. I'm trying to listen, nah. Hold on, nah. Listen. I started it. I ain't finished it. And I ain't get to the bad part yet, but I don't like what I see so far. I heard the seen some of the videos, the thumbnails. I'm just like, 100,000. He supporting 60. I'm like, nah, he wasn't. Then I'm watching. I'm like, oh no.
but look though. Look. I'm just like, yo, why? I kept saying my husband was playing it, and I'm listening to him playing it. I'm just like, why is she there? What is she there? Why? This is sick. Why is she there? For what?
Yeah, I don't. I even asked her
And the
now.
whole time she was in the background, like, period.
kept saying stuff like that. I'm just like,
I was just like, yo, give me
what's
one
going
more
on?
period.
I'm saying Andre 3000 is in the middle of speaking. She just cutting them off.
Man,
He the only one doing it. It's just like,
the
God.
only one. It was definitely irky.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said,
It was real irky. I was just like, and she kept doing it. Period. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. It just, ooh.
A motherfucker screaming like that. I bet you that wasn't the person that was shot.
Period. She kept doing it. Let's see.
This is gonna be in movies. I wonder if The Simpsons predicted this.
Yeah, the Simpsons they predicted.
Huh? You said they did?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. No, it makes sense. All right. Let me make sure I share you out. Let me see. They really don't get the fuck out of here. All right, about to drop, baby.
Like, listen to this.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Trump.
You about to get off?
Yeah, I'm. What you? Yeah, about to drop. You about to play something?
Yeah, I'm about to play. I'm about to play her video. Oh man, it just clipped. I gotta go back to it. Because that was crazy.
Handkerchief right fast. It just looks like a blood red handkerchief. Someone just pulled it to the air.
Aspiration to want to be something greater than what's going on in my community. That's when it starts to flow. You know, you start to be like, okay, he black, I'm black. He from Wilmington, North Carolina. Seems like a very rural place that ain't got much going on there. I'm from Akron, Ohio. Ain't much going on here. So there is possibility of getting out of this.
Hope.
That's how I be like, if they can do it, I know I can.
Yeah, there's hope.
Who was that for you, Sexy?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a lot of people because I seen like a lot of girls that was coming up, get in the rap game and stuff, and then I'm like, oh, so they like this? What I know they like what I got to say. Then I'm like, why they ain't with me then? Like I ain't know what it'd take for them to like notice me. But once they did notice me, it was up. I knew it. I knew it. Though.
What'd you think did it? That people started to know? Is it a certain song? Is it a certain demeanor?
Nope, I feel like it was just my time. Because like my baby daddy had got locked up, and then I was like more focused. I was like, dang, now I could focus.
And who helped you develop your, as Dre says, like develop his pen and writing, like
sound?
Usually it's a producer. It could be a producer. I think probably you was probably in the dungeon. You also had a partner.
Yeah.
Because a little bit like who helped you develop that sound?
Nobody, me.
You did it all yourself?
Who else gonna do it?
Who you was listening to though? Like, cause I heard you one time say, "I'm the female Gucci Mane."
Yeah, I was listening to some of everybody, man. Like I'm weird. Like you probably wouldn't even think I sit in and just say, "Thomas Andre," and be like, "Hey, yeah." Like I be on weird. I be on weird, man. So like you never know what I'm finna turn on.
Yeah.
Like I be in the car, we'll be smoking, and I just go somewhere else.
I will say to any artist though too, like don't just listen to the genre that you in.
No, I don't.
Because like what expounds or makes a genre better is things coming outside of it, getting into it, you know, and you interject that into like, if you listen to classical music and you say, oh man, I love that classical music, but people ain't really listening to that. But if I put that on some drums, it takes it a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? So I think when you say I listen to everything, like that's one thing about Outkast, like we was just, me and Big listened to everything. Like it was, and to that point, at a certain point, we felt like we can do everything because we listen to everything.
That's
so
how I feel.
Yeah, I think music is just, you don't have to do one thing, you know, if you don't want to.
It
But
opened the
all
door
the
for other
influences.
stuff for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like you can go be in a movie, you can start a fashion line, you can be a chef. For real, like you can do whatever you want to once you like in the game.
What do you want to do with it?
I'm multi-talented. I want to do everything. Like when I was coming up, I used to make my own clothes. I got a lip gloss brand. I used to sell lip gloss. Like I did hair. I used to do hair.
You still a hustler.
Yeah, like I've been hustling. This y'all want to tell y'all how I knew I was hustling? Because I sat back, I said, dang, I've been had hustling in my blood. Because when I was like a little kid, I used to go to school. I used to be selling Kool-Aid out the little packets, like the Kool-Aid and sugar. I cry the kids, I was like, on the slide, give me my money here, pour it in their hand, I ain't going out. I used to take the chips and the snacks from home, honey buns, oatmeal pies, come to school, selling it to the kids. I'm like, Mama, they be saying they hungry, so she let me fill my book bags up.
The candy lady.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
For sure. We all had
I've
them.
been a hustler. And then when I was in middle school, I used to do my own hair. And then I seen the girls needed their hair done. So they started coming to me like, can you do my hair? And I'm like, sure. I'm in middle school. I'm just doing some. But it started like, and that's how it got me popping. Like I was known as the hood hottest hairstylist.
Yeah, I used to cut hair too.
Yeah. Did you really?
Yeah, I used to
In high
cut all the kids in the hood. Their mama used to come bring
Period. That's how I
$5
was.
a head. Yeah, before, because when you're an artist,
I'm
really,
about to say,
when you're an artist, like
every
cutting
artist
hair
in the
is like,
hood really be,
because it's really
artists always
sculpting.
get
That's really what it is. You're just
Yeah,
sculpting. You
for
know what I mean?
sure.
Like, and fade is just kind of like
For
taking,
sure.
removing material.
Where'd you get the confidence, not only like musically, to do like, you know, like you were just talking about, like out of the box, like not just traditional, what we've been used to, but also from a fashion style. Like I think of like, hey, y'all, I think of like the outfit. Like where'd that confidence come from early in your career?
Over time, my influences from, once I started producing on the second album, you know, I'm buying records and I'm looking at the back of albums, looking at all the groups that I'm into, looking at Parliament Funkadelic, looking at Sly Stone, looking at those players who played with James Brown, blah, blah, blah. And I started to notice the people that I was attracted to. And I was like, that's who I want to be like, you know? So a lot of my heroes from Prince to Sly, that's all in me, like punk artists. I always went to like who looked like they having the most fun, telling the most truth. So that's kind of like, that was a big influence. And honestly, man, my crew, man, like all the people, me and Big and CeeLo were the youngest in the dungeon at the time. All my homies from Rico to Gil, Cujo, Timo, they were a little older than us, so they had been rapping longer than us. So we kind of like sitting and watching. Like my first studio session was hanging out with Rico and them, going in, and Gip used to be in a group called East Point Chain Gang. And so my first studio visit was hanging with Reek. They go into the studio to produce Gip them. So it's kind of like my whole crew, like when you build a community of people, which is so important, when you have crews, in the dungeon, it became like an island, and we developed our own lingo, our own slang, our own look, and you build confidence in your crew where you don't give what nobody outside that say. And it's kind of like, once you get that kind of power, you take it out in the world. Like same way like Japan went nobody for a long time. And they cultivated themselves and they became Japan. And then they opened up the doors. But they were confident in who they were. Like they were confident in what they offered to the world. So I have to say, man, my crew built me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, rest in peace, Rico. But Rico, there were times when like I would say raps to Rico and he would just get up and walk. He might be smoking a blunt. He might get up and walk away. And it was so disrespectful to me as a kid. I was like, this mother, man, like, but to him, he was like, no, that ain't good enough. And so your crew make you harder, make you better.
For
like,
sure. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And if you in a dungeon, it was a real dungeon where it was like dirt on the wall.
Yeah,
what
was the tell us what the because we all know Dungeon Family.
Yeah,
what was the physical place like? Because it was a studio almost, right?
It was a makeshift studio. We had like house speakers and a few drum machines and like car seats that would tow out of cars on dirt floors. It was like a crawl space in Rico's mama house, and Rico was kind and visionary enough to let us all young stay in her house in the basement.
That's crazy.
If she wouldn't have opened her doors and it wouldn't be no dungeon. Shout out Ms. Wade.
Shout out to her.
Yeah. He was like, sometimes you gotta have somebody with a cool mama.
Oh God, I was just gonna say that.
Like,
it's
she
always
let
gonna
us
be that
smoke.
one friend in the group that you got their house, they got it all.
Yeah. I mean, we was never disrespectful.
But I'm sure from her point, y'all was safe.
And she was like, they in my house and I know they ain't out there doing that.
Yeah.
Everybody
I mean,
friend that got a mama like that.
I don't know if she was like agreed, but
It's alternative.
Yeah,
Like it's alternative.
We were downstairs, and so she let it happen. And so it was really a house with a family. I mean, like Rico's two sisters were going to high school every day. We beating all night, beats like loud, like smoke all, and they got to wake up in the morning and go to school. Like it was a house, you know. So
she must have believed in y'all or something.
She believed in her son, I believe.
That's what's up.
Like Rico was a hustler, man. Like Rico had the vision. Like Rico made us believe, you know. Like so.
R.I.P. Rico.
Yeah. You asked me where it come from. I'm only like a product of the dungeon, you know. Like they gave me, because I'm an only child. Like I wasn't really confident in school. Like it took me a minute to learn how to perform. Even like I was a nervous kind of like kid. So my dungeon kind of like gave me like a platform to kind of go free.
Go do yourself. Yeah, you had the same thing, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
Drew.
Yep. I had the crew.
Same type of thing.
My mom was that mom though. Because all the homies always used to come over to my house. My mom was like, so, you know, my mom was only 16 years older than me. So I mean, I'm a high school freshman. My mom 30, so she ain't about to be in the house all day. She out doing her thing. I'm only child too, so like I get it. But all the homies always want to come to my crib.
Oh no, that sounds
Only
fun.
children.
Yeah,
Like, I know your mom let you have come. You the only child.
Yeah, mama was cool as hell.
My mom was strict as a mother.
Really?
Yeah, my mom, man, she wasn't having it, man. Like my mom, she did not play, and I'm the only child, man. It was like, and I think that's why I'm wild now, because she was so strict, man, growing up.
Oh yeah.
She was so strict, man. Like, and you gotta like, I dropped out of school and told my mama.
In what grade?
10th grade, no, 11th grade.
Oh, that's
well, we was like smoking and leaving school. They kicked me out of school and sent me to alternative school. And that's when me and CeeLo met back up at the alternative school. And at that point, I'm rapping, I'm going to the dungeon every day. I'm like, man, I'm not doing this school. So I just kind of dropped out.
Got it.
And I told my mama, I'm about to do this reciting words over beats thing. She's like, what the
reciting words over beats? Not I'm about to be a rapper. I'm about to be a rapper. Boys, I'm about to do these reciting words, mom, over these musical instruments.
It's poems with instruments in the background.
She didn't take that kindly, man. Like,
you thought you had that figured out before you.
Yeah, the wordplay before you went to mom.
I don't even think I said it like that, but I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think how she's thinking.
Yeah.
Like, so you're gonna say some words. You're gonna drop out of school and say some words over beats. That's your plan. And so I can understand from a mom's standpoint. She's like, hell no. And so she went with it. Like they wouldn't even let us sign our record deal. We could have signed early on, but my mama wouldn't let me do it.
You weren't 18 yet.
Yeah. So we had to wait.
You need a guardian.
Yeah, you weren't 18 yet.
Yeah, it is so. It's like I don't know about you guys. It's like a full circle moment for me. I'm from New York, hearing these stories with Dungeon Family, hearing you at 16, and then remembering the South got something to say.
Yeah.
Right.
What year was that?
94,
The Source Award.
94, 95. I don't
Got booed.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about that? Do you remember that moment?
I totally remember it. It was not planned. It looked brave, but I was nervous as a mother. I was just angry, man, because like we in New York and we love New York. We grew up on all New York music, man. And when they announced who, I think the award was Best New Artist or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think Salt and Pepper and somebody else opened the envelope. So Best New Artist is Outkast? Like they read it like that.
Yeah.
So we were angry, like with Dungeon whole crew there, man. Like, and I was just angry, man. Like, and I just felt like, I don't know, it just came out. And I just said it. Like,
What'd you say?
The South
I
got
said
something
the
to
South
say.
got something to
You
say.
should watch
Y'all-
this
y'all-
video. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
good.
don't even remember the whole thing, but I just knew hate on the South at that point. You know what I mean? It was wild, but I just remember just being really angry and driven because, like, we've been creating this music, man. We've been in the dungeon work, like, and we just felt like y'all don't get it,
Right.
you know. And sometimes you have to show people, man.
And it is why
They don't
I'll tell you full circle, being
But
in
it
New
gave me
York.
drive though, and I actually appreciate it now
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it made
For
us go
sure.
harder.
For sure. But
That's how they did me, though.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
full circle, being in New
Fuel.
York, and you guys probably heard this. It's like there was a time when New York wouldn't play any Southern music, any West Coast music,
On the
whatnot,
radio.
right? On the radio, right?
Yep.
Hot 97, Power, all that.
Yep.
And then that shifted, and New York radio started getting flack that they were only playing Atlanta, down south music, all that. And that New York artists were starting to sound like Atlanta artists.
Yeah,
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
what did that feel like, it coming full circle where, like, the music kind of shifted towards, like, Georgia?
I always say, never hate on nobody because you don't know where they're gonna end up, man.
That's
Like,
true.
and it's just what's always on top gonna be on bottom at some point. So it's just a shift. Just wait for your turn, man. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
She said it. She said timing.
Yeah,
it's
for
gonna-
real.
it's
Just
gonna-
wait
it's
my
gonna
time.
You said
And I
they
went
did you like
mad.
that too?
Huh?
Who did you like that? You said they. I heard you say they.
Everybody, like, they still don't believe in me. So I just be like, I'm gonna just show y'all. And like he said, they don't be understanding. Like, we really came from nothing. And then we be making the big achievements. Like, that's something for us. And then they just be like, you ain't doing
But
nothing. But for
use
us,
it.
it's like,
Fuel.
ain't nobody doing this. So it's
Fuel. Use it for fuel. Hater fuel, man. It's the best. It's
But
free
like,
energy.
I like when they talk about me. I ain't
That's
gonna
free
lie.
energy because that make me go. That make me go in. I love when somebody doubts you.
Because I'm now finna show you something.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah.
I'll be
Use
back.
it. Use it. Use it.
Jerry, you being a black man in fashion, you must get that all the time. Like gatekeepers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but I was going to say, like, when we did that show at the Hollywood Bowl, the theme was the South got something to say. And I was like, I got something to say.
Yeah, man.
And I think that moment and the realness of that moment, you know what I mean, is what drove me to say, no, we're not showing in Paris. We got something to say right here in LA. And it's going to be just as eloquent, just as sophisticated, just as beautiful, but, you know, still like every element, you know? And, you know, it's always a fight. It's
Did
always a
anybody
fight.
try and talk you out of that? Like, yo, you got to show in Paris. You should be there.
Nah. No one tried to talk me out of it. I was too convicted going in. I tried to talk myself out of it a week before, like, please, Rain, like, what am I doing?
Because you got nervous?
Oh, man, I was scared to death. I was like, the week before, I was like, what the hell did I get myself into? You know, but the collection showed up. We started styling. I was like, you know, we already did the work. Once I started looking at the pieces, I was like, the work is done. We just got to show up. But with that moment, man, it was like, I remember that moment. 95.
man.
I graduated high school in 95 like that. And I went to FAM, and I just remember, you know, even some of the lines back then, like, you know, all you think we are is hip hop is booty shake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
And then to like be here today, and it's like, we are that, and we are that. And it doesn't mean that
We all
one is
All black people is different, though.
one
All
is
black
better
people
than the
different.
other. You know what I mean? And it's like the fight to be able to just be what you want to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like that was the question that you were asking LeBron. Is like, okay, you were looking up to Mike, but at what point did you realize you can become something greater?
Right.
I was about 17.
Period.
17.
But you,
I think I was a junior in high school. That's when I think my summer of junior going into my senior year, I was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. They had dubbed me the
That's
chosen
hard.
one. And in every tournament I was going to, playing against the consensus #1 players or top 100 guys, I was just like, I was doing that.
Only you could do.
Sometimes was out of body for myself. I couldn't even believe some of it that I was doing.
Yeah.
And then I think at that moment around 17, I knew I could be LeBron.
but do you still?
Like, and not Jordan, not Penny, not, you know, I could still use them as inspiration and still get some creative from them by still watching and studying them because they've done it longer. And I'm still respecting that. I'm still respecting that craft because they are doing it and they've done it and they've won, and whatever the case may be. Ken Griffey Jr. is part of that. Deion Sanders, you know, is a part of that. All, you know what I'm saying? But I started to feel like, oh, you can be a part of that room
Oh, God.
at 17. And it's up to you to go get it.
Do you still have out of bodies?
Hell yeah.
At this many hours of playing?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
That's when that
Hell
spirit working, man.
Yeah, that's
Hell
that
yeah.
spirit working.
Yeah, it's
Hell
kind of it's kind of like when you
Yeah.
transcend what you thought you could be.
Yeah.
That's a great moment,
Yeah.
man. I've seen it happen in my career. I've seen it happen in other rappers' careers where I'm sure they were like, "Whoa, I didn't even think I would do that."
Dre, when you make, like going back to some of the Outkast, then you know, have you ever wrote a verse like, I think this is pretty good, then put it out into the world, and the world be like, oh my, like you didn't, meaning you mismeasured it. You thought it was good, but then when you put it out for us, we was like, oh, this just went.
Like I said, he thought
crazy.
it was good, but it's great. The
But
reaction.
but
in
it's
the
like,
parts.
yeah.
Like, it's normal to
Or-
him, but to other people, they're like, damn.
or did you know, oh, this is one of them
Well,
moments?
I didn't know, but even when you're writing it, I get a sense of, man, I don't know where it's coming from. So it's like it's happening at that time. Just like when you doing a move and you like, I don't know what, and it's happening.
Yeah.
That's kind of like because when you start flowing, any rapper, they know what I'm talking about. Like you get the rapper spirit where words start coming together like, oh. You know, and it's kind of a thing that like I could have never thought of that on my human own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at that point, when I say the spirit working on whatever you believe in, you believe in God, you believe in Jesus, all that kind of stuff. But the spirit, there's something underneath, like these are earth suits. We just wearing it to be able to talk and walk in. But the spirit in there, you know, that when we die, go somewhere else, the spirit, that get to working, man. And that's
Don't get me talking about this kind of
when you channeling, like as a musician, man, musicians I know it the same way. Like it's really an alive spirit, and that's where you want to be.
I know from a listener's aspect, when I listen to music, I have a sense of, oh, that mother was in a bag when they was writing that or in the booth saying that.
I
can feel that, like you're saying how the words is just hitting on each other. Like
that's that spirit.
Like you like, oh,
that's that spirit.
It's a little confidence in there too. That
of course, because you know you put the work in.
Yeah, so this was like the most classic hood interview ever. I couldn't understand still. Why was she there? Every other word was on God and period. But yeah, I guess you gotta let everybody you gotta let everybody be a part of the program when you're a part of the program. So yeah, shout out again to everybody that came through, the world class. Let's see. Of course, our brother chairman, A. Griffin Ill, His Majesty the Magnificent Ill, always coming through, Brother Jose L, my husband, Brother Richard Neal Bain, Sharice the Realist, Juice. Shout out to all of y'all that came through. Even Zach came through today. So I'm gonna end this live, but I had plans to actually show something else, so I'll save that and probably show that this week coming up. Shout out to Brother Antonio McClaudio that came through earlier as well. Again, shout out to the Research Ninja who called me and said they shot Trump, because I had no idea. And with that being said, y'all, I will see you all back here again next week sometime. Peace and love.
you.